Part C of Chapter 1, The Path, The Mystics of Islam, R.A. Nicholson, frequently covers a group, if not a multitude, of significations diverging more or less widely according to the aspect from which it is viewed, hence the confusion that is apparent in Sufi textbooks. When poverty, for example, is explained by one interpreter as a transcendental theory and by another as a practical rule of religious life, the meanings cannot coincide. Regarded from the latter standpoint, poverty is only the beginning of Sufism. Fakirs, fuqara, is that how you say it? Jami says, renounce all worldly things for the sake of pleasing God. They are urged to the sacrifice by one of the three motives: hope for an easy reckoning on the day of judgment, or fear of being punished; the desire of paradise; longing for spiritual peace and inward composure. Thus, inasmuch as they are not disinterested but seek to benefit themselves, they rank below the Sufi, who has no will of his own and depends absolutely on the will of God. It is the absence of self that distinguishes the Sufi from the fakir. Here are some maxims for the dervishes. Do not beg unless you are starving. The Caliph Omar flogged a man who begged after having satisfied his hunger. When compelled to beg, do not accept for more than you need, being good-natured and uncomplaining, and thank God for your poverty. Do not flatter the rich for giving, nor blame them for withholding. Dread the loss of poverty more than the rich man dreads the loss of wealth. Take what is voluntarily offered. It is the daily bread which God sends to you. Do not refuse God's gift. Let no thought of the morrow enter your mind, else you will incur everlasting perdition. Do not make God a spring to catch alms. A springe? The Sufi teachers gradually built up a system of asceticism and moral culture which is founded on the fact that there is in man an element of evil. The lower or appetitive soul, this evil self, the seat of passion and lust, is called nafs. It may be considered broadly equivalent to the flesh, and with its allies, the world of the devil, it constitutes the greatest obstacle of the attainment of the union with God. The prophet said, "Thy worst enemy is thy nafs, which is between thy two sides." I do not indicate to discuss the various opinions as to its nature, but the proof of its materiality is too curious to be omitted. Muhammad ibn Ulyan, an eminent Sufi, relates that one day something like a young fox came forth from his throat, and God caused him to know that it was his nafs. He trod on it, but it grew bigger at every kick that he gave it. He said, "Other things are destroyed by pain and blows. Why dost thou increase? Because I was created perverse." It replied, "What is pain to other things is pleasure to me, and their pleasure is my pain." The nafs of Hajj was seen running behind him in the shape of a dog, and other cases are recorded in which it appeared as a snake or a mouse. Mortification of the nafs is the chief work of devotion and leads directly or indirectly to the contemplative life. All the sheikhs are agreed that no disciple who neglects this duty will ever learn the rudiments of Sufism. The principle of mortification is that the nafs should be weaned from those things to which it is accustomed, that it should be brought through suffering and tribulation to recognize the vileness of its original nature and the impurity of its actions. Concerning the outward methods of mortification, such as fasting, silence, and solitude, a great deal might be written, but we now pass on to the higher ethical discipline which completes the path. Self-mortification, as advanced Sufis understand it.